You have to now be able to take on information, because you don't just have one or two set pieces, you have maybe 6 or 7 when you see a certain setup. So you have a good level of intelligence. You have the corner taker has to know what he's doing. Set pieces now, the players will have pads of paper and they're making sure while they're doing it on the pitch they know what set piece they're going to do. That's the level of detail.
The Emirates had barely caught its breath before the fury erupted. Arsenal's battle with Newcastle had promised intensity, but it was controversy that stole the headlines. The match, tense and finely balanced, turned on 2 moments that ignited outrage: a penalty claim cancelled after VAR intervention and a foul in the build-up to a decisive passage of play that went unpunished. The roar of frustration from Arsenal supporters spilled from the stands into living rooms and studios across the country, where pundits picked apart every frame of replay. Into this storm stepped Webb. Calm but firm, the PGMOL chief addressed the growing uproar with the weight of authority. He acknowledged the anger, recognizing the sense of injustice that had swept through Arsenal's fanbase, but he clung to a guiding principle: VAR must act only when evidence is clear and conclusive. Football, he reminded the world, is a game of split-second decisions and interpretation, where even technology cannot erase subjectivity. His defense of the officials was measured, almost protective. There was no question of bias, he insisted, only the immense difficulty of making the right call under pressure. Yet beneath his words lay a tacit admission: not every judgment is perfect, and not every outcome satisfies those who feel wronged. Webb promised more: reviews, accountability, transparency. A pledge that PGMOL would open its doors wider to scrutiny, that the process itself would be laid bare. But Arsenal's faithful were unmoved. To them, explanations meant little in the face of what felt like robbery. The disallowed penalty burned like salt in an open wound, a moment that could have swung the contest. The unpunished foul stung just as sharply, a reminder of the fragility of fairness when interpretations collide. For supporters, these were not abstract errors but pivotal decisions that stripped their team of justice in a fiercely contested fight. The match ended, but the debate raged on. Webb's assurances hung in the air, promises of reform clashing with lingering distrust. In the end, Arsenal were left with more questions than answers, and a bitter sense that on one of the league's grandest stages, the fine line between human error and systemic failure had once again tilted against them.